Well, it looks like a major global fintech firm just came out and made its prediction for XRP, and it gave this prediction with the assumption, and it made this prediction keeping in mind that Ripple wins the case versus the SEC. They also have a prediction for if Ripple loses against the SEC. Also, I'm going to talk about some of the time frames that they are predicting for the price of XRP, and then I'm going to tell you whether or not I agree with this assumption. Also, we have some big industry news regarding Coinbase, regarding Google, regarding Mastercard, and I'm going to talk about Elon Musk and his takeover of Twitter and what federal investigators are now looking into. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind, and right now on this channel we are covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, but I'm also covering cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all these topics interest you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the Late Night Grind community. Also, if you would do a couple things, I'd appreciate it. Smash the thumbs up button and watch this video all the way to the end. Those are the two best things you can do to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, guys. Let's jump into it. Okay, so first, let's talk about the announcement that just happened the other day, this regarding Coinbase and Google. They just announced a partnership in which Google will be using Coinbase in order to accept crypto payments for their cloud services platform and through their cloud services platform. Now, this was a big announcement, but the announcement itself I found kind of odd because on one hand, you had Google saying, Coinbase chose us to use our cloud services and further the Web3 ecosystem and Web3 developments and speeding up things like developments and payment services. And then Coinbase came out and said, we are proud to announce that Google has selected Coinbase as its partner. So I found that kind of odd, but nonetheless, Google will be using Coinbase's custody services, and Coinbase will be using some of Google's cloud hosting services. And of course, there's going to be some overlap in there. So basically, they're partnering. They're each going to be making money on different transactional issues, depending on what that is. But that was a big headline, and I'm going to be continuing to look at that into the future because it sounds like it's really good for crypto adoption overall. Unless you're not a big fan of the KYC, which means know your customer, and people like Google and Coinbase will want to know everything about you in order for you to start using their cryptocurrency services. Now, of course, Coinbase is already know your customer, Google already knows literally everything about you, so if you're not a fan of that, this might not be the best announcement. Speaking of digital payments and crypto as digital payments, another huge company, Mastercard, finally jumping on board, announcing that they're going to be announcing in their blog, actually their head of blockchain and digital assets announced that they're going to be making good on their plans to fully utilize, as they put it, cryptocurrencies and digital assets as viable forms of payment. What their development is now working on is basically trying to bridge the gap between traditional financial services and the crypto sector and making those transactions, making those payments seamless, fast, and cheap. So we're going to see what comes of it. Now, if you've been in crypto for the last 3 or 4 years, you're going to say, well, finally, this is what people have been saying for years now, and you are well ahead of the institutions, except for all the banks that, of course, are jumping on Ripple's on-demand liquidity system and have already seen the major benefits of utilizing cryptocurrencies. Now, before I get into the XRP price predictions, I wanted to cover one final story, and this involves Elon Musk and Twitter, and I'm going to continue to cover the story because it's interesting and I think it's also important, not just for a business as a whole, but for social media, as well as eventually, I think down the line, the cryptocurrency ecosystems. So Elon Musk, a couple of weeks ago, sent a letter to Twitter saying he wants to finalize the deal now if they would take their litigation off of the table, which of course they did, and they accepted the deal. Except just a couple of days ago, it was announced that federal investigators were now investigating Elon Musk for something, but they really didn't lead on to what they were investigating him for. And of course, the people that don't like Elon Musk say, well, it's because of his dealings with Russia. He's been tweeting a lot of things that pro-Russian people have been saying, and now he's shutting off internet to the Ukraine, for which he was using Starlink and giving free internet access to the Ukrainian country in their war against Russia. He's now pulling that back and says, well, I can't afford to do this infinitely. Now the US government's going to have to pay for it. So a lot of people are thinking, well, he's just pro-Russia. It's not exactly like that. And as we know, if we look back, you can see that United States federal investigators don't like Elon Musk. The current government regime does not like him at all. They don't even like Tesla. And you can look back on the stories of all the talk about climate change and utilizing green energy and all these green new projects. And Tesla is pretty much left out of all of that conversation. But nonetheless, it's very easy to see that this current government regime does not like Elon Musk, and I don't think they want him in charge of Twitter, especially now since midterms are coming up, and of course Elon Musk continuing to push the pro free speech agenda. So there you go. Let me know on Twitter what you guys think of all this. All right, now let's get into the exciting price of XRP, the predictions, and when this could actually hit. So there is a global fintech firm known as Finders, and they've been putting out all kinds of predictions on cryptocurrencies. This is really nothing new, but now they did it for XRP. And now they did it specifically involving the case versus the SEC. All right, so let's go over some of the numbers that they've predicted. Back in April, they predicted that come in December, that XRP would have a price of around 90 cents. Thus, they thought that there would be a major bull run, at least for XRP, in order to get there by December. And as we're closing in on December, well, it's looking more and more like that could happen. A couple of weeks ago, it didn't look so, but now that's hovering around 50 cents, and it essentially decoupled a little bit from the rest of the crypto market, having a little bit of its own bull run. That is a possibility. Now, 90 cents, could it double from where it's at right now? That's a possibility, but it's a little bit unlikely unless it has a lot of help, and some of the outside macroeconomic factors aren't ridiculously horrible, which unfortunately it looks like they're going to be. So 90 cents come December, but they also predicted something that I didn't see coming, but then I saw what they did. They predicted a price of $3.80 for XRP. Now, its previous all-time high, $3.83, their prediction matches that. And I said, okay, well, that's fair because the caveat said if they win the case versus the SEC, they see the price going to $3.80. But here's the thing. They predicted that for 2025, a full 2.5 years from now, and in fact, they would have to wait for the next Bitcoin and crypto bull run for that to happen. And in my opinion, if you've been watching this channel, as well as other XRP channels, or even other technical analysis channels, you're saying that, hold on, after Ripple wins this case, and XRP gets its regulatory clarity, institutions are ready to jump on board, and of course, so are people with a lot of black powder waiting for this decision to come down. I think it's going to go much, much higher than $3.80. Of course, a lot of the technical analysis that I've seen says $7 to $13 literally as soon as Ripple wins this case. Now, there's a lot of stipulations. There's a lot of things that could happen to XRP even if Ripple wins, so we're gonna have to see what the details come out as the case finally does get finalized, in my opinion, probably early 2023, based on things that Jeremy Hogan and John Deaton and some of the other legal experts that have been following this case are saying. So nonetheless, I want to know what you guys think. Let me know on Twitter if you think $3.80 is possible, but is it going to be possible long before 2025? My opinion, I think it probably will be, and also I think it's going to be hitting a major bull run, if not being in the middle of a major bull run in 2025. So we're going to have to see, because if it wins this case, honestly, $3.80 I think is a little bit of an undershoot, but then I looked at what they did. This is based on, their own opinions. This is based on some of the opinions and surveys from other industry leaders in the blockchain industry. And of course, it's based on some of the investor information that they get and that they put out. So it's not exactly a technical analysis, and they may not be comparing it to what it's done versus the rest of the market because of this price suppression that the case of the SEC has actually put on it. So let me know what you guys think. Go to Twitter and let me know what you think about these price predictions, as well as some of these other stories that I mentioned, Elon Musk taking over Twitter. In my opinion, that's going to be a big one. And if you don't know why I have comments turned off, well, it's because I did a review and found that 93% of the comments on this channel were spam, scams, and bots, and I don't want my audience exposed to that. So if you want to have a conversation, hit me up on Twitter. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end, for smashing that thumbs up button, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.